Hello and welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to talk about the 10 things I've learned from Bible journaling for 3 years. So I started Bible journaling about 3 years ago. When I first did Bible recap, like many people who have started reading the Bible for the first time and studying the Bible, I just saw a couple people on Instagram shared the Bible recap, and I read with me, do you do the Bible recap this year? And my husband had telling me I need to start reading through the Bible. I grew up in a Christian school. We met at youth group together, and we went to a more type Assembly of God Pentecostal, where honestly I'm learning that even though I went to a Christian school for 10 years, Bible reading and how to Bible read and how to study, the discipleship part of becoming a Christian was really lacking, and in that area it was kind of you get saved and then you're on your own type of thing. It just wasn't prioritized, Bible study and stuff. And as I've researched, I found that more and more that is the case with more Pentecostal, evangelical leaning ways, or even the non-denominational type of settings. A lot of times the discipleship, the mega church kind of thing, there's not as much discipleship and how to study and how to be a Christian and how to read your Bible and the importance of it. I didn't even know there was any such thing as reading plans until about 3 years ago, and I'm 40. And so that's the kind of things I didn't prioritize it. A lot of it is me as well. It wasn't the church, it wasn't all the church, it was me as well. And I think I found that a lot following different people on YouTube and Instagram and stuff. A lot of people have the same stories. So anyway, when I came across, I started reading with Bible recap, and then I slowly I got on YouTube and I found people like Faith Womack and different Bible YouTubers and a Bible project, and I would watch on the YouTube the Bible recaps. And then I also found Heart Dive shortly after, and so I started doing Heart Dive that year. That was the year, and let me tell you, it was amazing. I know a lot of people have found it since 2024, but it was the most exciting thing every day to have a Bible study to watch. And it felt so so many people were studying with you, and I enjoyed it so much, and I'm so glad that it's still being used now. Absolutely loved it. I would just get ready for my Bible study after every afternoon. I would do my own study in the morning and with the Bible recap. And then I slowly, everybody else, got study Bible after study Bible and commentary and the journaling, all the journaling stuff. And it was just amazing. And so since then, I still did that Bible recap last year. And this year I do Bible recap with my children. We listen to it because we have been for the past 2 years. So that's I homeschool them. So that's part of our Bible curriculum. I have a different reading plan. I'm using the Tim Wildsmith reading plan / study plan. So I use my journal for that, and then I also am doing a deep dive into Matthew and doing a sermon series in Matthew. So this was the pink one was my first journal Bible. This brown one was last year's, and then this one in the middle is this year's. I have 3 kids. I have 2 boys and a girl. So my thought for these was to make a Bible for each of them. I don't necessarily tailor my notes or anything for them though. The notes in it are for me. I'm just saying that I will pass it down to each of them. That might change. I might get different journal Bibles in different years, and I might update these because there's things I would do differently because they're all different. Because this one was when I was just starting, this one was the next one, and then this year. So I've definitely refined how I take notes and everything. So I wanted to go over kind of my 10 things I wish I would have known when I started journaling through the Bible and studying through the Bible. So the first one is, you will have bad handwriting days and your lines will be crooked. This is especially true for me because I don't have the greatest handwriting. I'm getting better, but it's a work in progress. I have doctor type of handwriting, and I am a nurse, so I guess that makes sense, right? Somewhat. I actually do have a doctorate degree in nursing, so I guess I am technically a doctor. And so yeah, I have messy handwriting and I'm working on it. But a quote I always remember is, a messy Bible means a clean Christian. So a pristine, untouched Bible looks pretty, but a messy, worn out Bible shows life and actively being transformed. So you can see this Bible from last year. This one I got $11. Is a New King James Journaling Bible. I got it at Ollie's. So it was $11. It's falling sort of apart. The pages aren't great. I learned so much last year, and I have a lot of tip-ins, and I will go over these in a separate Bible. I'll do some flip-throughs. Number 2, the ebbs and flows of daily life. You will not highlight every single page every day. You won't always have the energy to highlight. You won't always want to. You won't always have the energy to make it pretty. You can use this one as an example. This Bible, I didn't use a whole lot of highlighting. Go a little closer. But I have a lot of writing. Mine is less for prettiness. I want to work on making things prettier and all that, but it's more for just taking the notes and really studying. And I used 2 different study Bibles. I used a commentary and a study Bible last year, and so like here we go, pages that are empty. And then that happens when you're studying the Bible in a year. That's gonna happen. There are gonna be days where I don't write as many notes, or I don't write any notes. It just depends on the day, and so that's okay. I've learned that what I've always thought is, as you're studying through, if I'm studying through the whole, reading and studying through the Bible, now I do more of a light study with the study through the year, because I know that can be very overwhelming for people who are going really deep, for me to say I'm studying the whole Bible in a year. I do a very light study through my reading. So I'm just reading like one study Bible and maybe a commentary. If I have more time, then I might grab some more resources. It kind of depends on the day. Saturdays, sometimes I have more time. Sundays I usually don't, because I go to church, so I usually have to be done earlier. If I'm really tired, I don't get into as much. If I may only get into just the study Bible. I've had days this year where I didn't even get into the study Bible. And rather than just letting it pile up for the next day, I just move on, because I know I'm going to do this next year. I know I'm going to read and study again next year. So I don't worry so much if I miss a chapter of a book. I'm going to catch it back. I'm going to catch back up. I'm going to go back through it. And then maybe next year, if it's not, because a lot of times I work. I do work. I work full time. So I have to work and do different things from each day. And so some days are really busy and some days are not. And so I just figure, maybe next year it will be a Saturday when I come across this passage. And so I'll have more time. It's all on, God's timing and what He wants me to study. And I can tell that I am, a lot of times, you have those days where you just, it's like the perfect thing for you. It's like right with what you needed, that whatever you're studying. I come across that all the time, and I know a lot of other people do too. So some days you will write deep pages of notes. Some days, I can go into John, and I have lots and lots of notes. I have post-it notes for days, but you can look in other areas that I don't have as much, and that's okay. Other days you may barely write anything at all. Let your journaling flow with the natural seasons of your life. Like I said, balancing light versus deep study plans. This is my number 3. You don't have to choose between reading the whole Bible and studying a single verse deeply. You can do both. You can pair a high-level Bible reading plan like I'm doing, and then a slow, deep study of a certain book. And I understand maybe that's too overwhelming for some people. It can be overwhelming for me. But again, I just kind of hold this with open hands. I don't do my deep study every day. Sometimes I'll listen to a sermon while I'm working out, and sometimes I won't. I kind of just have a 2 or 3 days a week I want to listen to a sermon in this series. Some days I take notes, some days I don't. One thing I use that is cool with YouTube, if you find your sermons on YouTube, you can summarize the video and you can get notes and you can write those. So that's what I do when I listen. I'm not going to be right in front of my Bible. I'm going to just summarize the notes, and then I'm going to put them in later and whatever other intake I got from listening. And so I try to make it flexible so that I can fit it in with my life without being overwhelming. The trap of highlighter perfection. I find I have this. Waiting until you have the trendy no bleed highlighters, aesthetic highlighters to start writing and studying. Don't fall for that either. I don't have necessarily the no bleeds. I still don't after 3 years. I've never tried Mr. Pen. I would love to try Mr. Pen, but I don't have any. I would love to try the bleed highlighters, but I have these midliners, and yeah, some of them do bleed through and some of them don't. I don't care as much about bleed through, I think, as a lot of other people do. I just kind of go with it. I'm a very type B personality, if you're not finding out already. So a lot of things I just let go because I have to. I have a lot of pens, as you can see, a lot of different types of pens, and some of them bleed through, and I'm slowly trying to figure out which ones I like. But I also don't freak out if it bleeds through. Like, it's okay. You're gonna keep moving on. Like, I promise you, like, when I look back at my Bibles, like, this Bible actually doesn't bleed through that well. As being as cheap as it was, it's pretty good. It doesn't bleed through. But even if it did bleed through, like, I'm alright. It's gonna be okay. I'm probably gonna have a new journal Bible, and like, it's I'm not perfect, so why would my Bible be perfect, right? So again, don't wait till you have the perfect highlighters. It's okay. It's about really more the message than the paper underneath it, right? Number 5, your notes won't look like your 1 notes will not look like your year 3 notes. This is my year 2 notes. I'll show you my year 1 notes. This is when I was just like, I have entire books that I didn't get this journal Bible until like March or like I didn't get it, so I didn't get to go through Numbers through this Bible. I think I didn't get it till Deuteronomy. And as you can see, like, my notes were hardly anything. Let me get you a little closer. And I'm sorry if you're hearing thunder and rain. I live in a tropical climate, and all of a sudden it just started raining. So you can see I didn't always write a lot or highlight. It just really, again, my notes look different than what I'm going to show you with my 3rd year. I wrote less. I didn't know what to write. I was soaking in a lot of stuff. I didn't always have a lot to write. So that's the year 1, and then year 3. I'm gonna go to one of my. This is Colossians. No, this is Matthew. So this is the one that I'm doing that deep dive in. So there's a lot more. I have a tip in here, so there's a lot more in here. I've learned to write smaller. I have, it's still very different. I have a lot of extra pages. These are just like printer paper that I just cut out and I tip in. I just use glue, and most of the time it sticks. I have permanent glue sticks, which I can show you at some point, that I use. Sometimes it doesn't, like this one's barely hanging on. You can use different things. Some people use washi tape. This is where I am. I'm on chapter 12. So this is my last page. So very different than year 1. So as your relationship with God grows and your faith deepens, you will naturally notice and note completely different things in year 2 and year 3 than you did in year 1. So it changes. Like, there's things that I would have wrote in year 1 or year 2 that I won't write now, because I feel like I have often come across, especially in the study Bibles, it depends on the study Bible, but like I feel like I already know it because it's my 3rd year. Like, I don't need certain things explained. Yeah. Another thing that I wish I would have done better in the beginning was always track your teachers, write your references, write where you're getting your notes or where you're getting the information. If you've got a good insight, I try to now. If I'm like listening to a sermon, write whose sermon, because a lot of times I like to go back to those sermons. I have a couple sermons that I go back to frequently because they were so impactful. And same with, like, you want to know, did you get it out of the New King James Study Bible or the ESV Study Bible, or out of this commentary or this commentary? So you want to keep track of it so you can look it up, remember your journey. You have the single Bible versus multi-Bible strategy. So the pressure of figuring out whether you should keep like one lifelong journal Bible or if you want to get a new one every year. That's another thing I see out there in the social media world. It's very dependent. Some people like to get a big old Bible and use it, and it grows and grows and grows. And then other people like to do a new journal Bible every year. I have been kind of doing the new journal Bible every year. But again, I might be trying to stick with this one because this one's not going to be completely full, especially in the New Testament, because there's so much more room. And I'm kind of planning on continuing working through this one. But like, as you can see, Matthew's pretty full. So that's why I am getting a spiral Bible for the New Testament for next year. And I will probably continue using this one. You can stay in one Bible for years, or you can get a new one annually. I have each one of these for my kids, but someday I might want to get a nicer one because I don't love the looks of this one because it just kind of got really beat down. I could have it rebound. The paper quality is just kind of weak in this one. And then this pink one is for my daughter. She's my youngest, and there are a lot of, like I said, the numbers and stuff are empty. So I might want to go back through 1 year in this Bible. So again, I said that number 8 was the New Testament crowding problem. I listen to a lot of sermon series that are in the New Testament, and I really believe that the New Testament is very important for Christians. As Paul talks about, he is a minister of the New Covenant, the New Testament. And so there are some pastors that I follow that really focus on the New Testament, especially for Christian living. The whole Bible is important. I believe it takes a whole Bible to make a whole Christian. But I like to study going through the New Testament, and I really want to know the New Testament well and memorize it. And I also memorize Psalms, so I also memorize the Old Testament. But we do see Jesus clearest in the New Testament. He's throughout the whole Bible, and that is why I want to read the whole Bible, because I want to see him throughout the whole Bible. But we do see him clearly, and we have the gospel clearly in the New Testament. And there's just so many good studies in both, in the New and the Old. And so I like to focus on that. I like to listen to sermon series. And so my New Testament gets crowded. My notes, I always have lots of notes in the New Testament. And, in the Old Testament, there's just spots like your genealogies or your list of numbers or your tabernacle or temple instructions. And so you don't usually have a lot. And if you look at study Bibles and stuff, there's sometimes areas in the Old Testament there's not a lot of notes. And so unless you have like a book commentary on a specific single volume commentary, you're not going to get as many notes. And they're harder to study, like the minor and the major prophets. There aren't even as many classes like in seminary on those, so it's harder to study those. And the New Testament is easier to study, and there's a lot of meat in the New Testament. There's a lot of things to apply in the New Testament, and so I do find that a lot of us do fill up our New Testament in our journal Bibles quicker than the Old Testament. And so for that, I'm trying the single volume of the New Testament Spiral Bible when I run out of room in this one. Then you also have art versus meatier notes. So that's number 9 for me. Both are valid. There's a lot of debates in the online world about, should your Bible look like an art project or a textbook? And there's varying, one from one to the other. I agree. I love stickers. I love washi. I love all that. I'm not artistic at all, so I can't draw nothing. But I love stickers and I love pretty things. But I also really want meaty and heavy study notes. Like I also really want to learn and want this to change me. I don't want it just to be about how pretty it is. And so there's room for both styles in God's kingdom, right? And there's room for both in every person. So don't feel like you to journal, study through the Bible, and that you need to have perfect handwriting or perfect art. There's a space for you. And there's also a space for those who like to do art and do, deeper study notes. So everybody's at a different point in their walk with God too. So it's going to look different for everybody. I haven't seen any two people the same. Any two people's Bible study, Bible reading plans are the same. Everybody's different, and we should embrace that. And then number 10, the ultimate goal is to know God and respond. So we don't want to lose sight of why we opened the Bible in the first place. Bible journaling isn't about, just creating content or finishing a hobby project. It is a daily active process to learn about who God is and discover his character and how you should respond to him. And that is how you are transformed, by knowing God more, by getting in his word and letting it transform you. And so that is what I've learned through Bible journaling. Those are my 10 things I've learned and that I wanted to share with everybody. And I hope that you found this helpful. And let me know if you have any questions. And let me know if you like this type of video or what type of video you would like to watch. Have a great day.